prosperity and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Good afternoon, honorable members. Welcome to this sitting. And so I'll call upon our clerk to proceed.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Proceed.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 7.
Under this one, we have a statement from Honorable Nicholas Nzioka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Mutevu Anastasia, the first member of the Speaker's panel, and I'm standing for the Majority Leader. Statement of, and a member of the House Business Committee. Statement on business of the House by Honorable Speaker. The House Business Committee met on 13th July 2024 to prioritize business for the House as forwarded by committees and honorable members pursuant to provisions of the Standing Order 151, Suborder 6D. The committee balloted business as follows. Tuesday afternoon, 13th August 2024 at 2:30 p.m. 1. Response to statement sought on matters relating to hawking within Machakos CBD by Honorable Jeremiah Kaloi, the Chairperson, Trade, Economic Planning and Industrialization Committee. B. Report on the 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023 by the Honorable Benjamin Kinyungu, Chairperson, Social Welfare and Sports Committee. Wednesday morning, August 14th, 2024 at 10 a.m., response to statement by Honorable Joshua Mwanga on implementation of ADP for financial year 2023-2024 in Masinga Central Ward by the Honorable Dominic Maitha, Chairperson Committee on Implementation. B. Report on Health and Emergency Services Committee on budget implementation for the Department of Health for the first and second quarters financial year 2023-2024. Continuation of debate by the Honorable Vincent Mutie, Chairperson, Health and Emergency Services Committee. C. Motion on alternation of Assembly calendar and adjournment of the House by the Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, Leader of Majority and also the MCA for Machakos Central Ward. On Tuesday morning, on the 27th August 2024, the House Business balloted response to a statement sought by Honorable Judas Ndawa on statement of roads within the county by the Honorable Moki Musila, Chairperson, Transport, Roads and Public Works Committee. B. reports on the 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023, continuation of debate by the Honorable Benjamin Kinyungu, Chairperson, Social Welfare and Sports Committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Anastasia. Next is a statement by Honorable Jeremiah Kaloi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm more brief for Honorable Kaloi, and I happen to be a member in the same committee of trade and industrialization. Response to a statement on hawking within Machakos CBD. Honorable Speaker, a statement on hawking within Machakos CBD was sought by Honorable Nicholas Nzioka and referred to the Committee on Trade, Economic Planning and Industrialization to inquire into the county government of Machakos was going to ensure that hawkers carry out their business within the CBD and its environs without being involved in a running battle with the County Inspectorate Department. Based on the aforementioned task, the committee conveyed the sought statement to the Department of Trade, filed a letter reference MKS/PCS/CMM/TCD/FO3/ dated 25th September 2023. The stated letter was responded through a letter dated 14th March 2024. The committee interrogated the forwarded information on the assigned task and further resolved to meet the Chief Officer, Department of Trade and External Relations on Monday, 29th April 2024 for further clarification on issues raised by members concerning the response. During the said meeting, the Chief Officer, Department of Trade and External Relations submitted as follows. 1, that the decision of restricting traders from doing their business within the CBD was informed by a circular by the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Transport, National Government, which restricted traders from doing their activities on roadside as well as streets. The circular cited several accidents witnessed in Bomet and Salaga, claiming lives of 12 and 10 people respectively. 2, informed by the said circular and guided by Section 9 of Machakos County Public Market and Stalls Act 2016, as relates to the designated market areas that state that no person shall be authorized to sell their goods on other than in designated public markets and stalls. The department invited all traders and hawkers to a meeting which took place at Machakos Park, whose agenda was to deliberate on issues relating to Section 9 of Machakos County Public Market and Stalls Act. 3, during the said meeting, traders and hawkers were informed that all trading activities within the Machakos CBD are prohibited, and the only designated areas for traders in Machakos town include 1, Mitumba Market, 2, Wholesale Market, 3, Retail Market Marikiti, and Mavivie Market. 4, members were informed that the above designated market were more than 460 spaces, which was said to be enough for each trader. Number 5, in light of the above, members were informed that traders were given 7 days notice to relocate to the designated market areas. In the light of the above, the members were informed that traders were given 7 days notice to relocate to the designated market areas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Catherine. I think this statement was sought by Honorable Nicholas Nzioka, and so maybe you should state whether the response is satisfactory.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This statement that I sought, in my opinion, the concerned department is treating this matter very casually, extremely casually, because this is the second time the statement is being brought back, and the same thing that they quoted in this statement today is exactly the same thing they quoted. And I said I was not satisfied. So they're treating the matter very casually. For example, the quoted circular by the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Transport, has never been made available. To me, it's somebody who is just imagining. So we need the circular to be provided here. Number two, the Machakos County Public Market Stall Acts should also be provided here so that we interrogate it. On the matter of that the hawkers and traders were invited, having been the person who sought the statement, I thought it was only fair that I also be invited in that meeting. So in my opinion, this meeting never happened. In as far as the 460 spaces, it would be unfair to suggest that the only people who need space to trade their wares in Machakos CBD are only extra 460. There are so many. So I am not satisfied at all. And I wish the committee puts to task those people who are supposed to deliberate on this matter. The issue of hawking cannot be wished away. It's something that we need to discuss openly so that we have a conclusive and non-discriminatory solution, because the only hawkers that seem to be targeted, highly targeted, are those in Machakos Central Ward. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nicholas. And then that means that the report will be referred back to the committee for further interrogation, and make sure.
Mr. Speaker, it would be fair if you give us at least 2 members or 3 also to air our views on what has been brought to this house.
Okay, proceed, though. You know, he has deferred the statement. That means we might debate on it, and I thought it would be better when we already have the report, a positive report, and debate on it. But if you have something that you wanted to say, you can maybe say.
Honorable Speaker, what I want to say, just want to agree with my brother here. Once a statement has been sought to this house, and it is referred to an sectoral committees, once communication is done to the other side, because the committee cannot work alone, it is only fair the interested stroke affected party to be also involved. And on this, I want to say it is very unfair if the majority leader who brought the business before this house was not involved in any way. That is now what I'm not happy with. So I'm requesting, going forward, if a statement is sought, the author of the statement must, and this time round we are not begging, we are demanding, it is a must, because the author of the statement seeker is the one who knows the problem where it is. The issue of hawking, Honorable Speaker, it is all over the world. All over the world, not Machakos alone. All over the world. So the issue of hawking, I remember before Mheshimiwa brought that statement here, some of the traders here were incited. Some of traders here in Machakos were incited by a senior government officer who is at home now. In fact, the problem in Machakos was caused by a senior government officer. And I thought, He's a former government officer. Because, huh? I don't want to mention anybody who cannot defend himself in this house, but I let it go on record that a former senior government officer is the one who incited the hawkers. You cannot instruct the hawkers to pack and go home, and you're not giving them food. And that is where they get their food. That is where they get money to pay rent and fees for their kids. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm requesting in the future, any statement sought in this house, the statement seeker must, and I'm repeating, must be involved. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndawa. Honorable D.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My concern is the seeker of the motion of the statement has deferred twice, and you are referred the matter back to the same committee. You cannot expect different results. I don't know which stand honor to quote, but it would have been better if you would have referred back the matter to a relevant committee, not the trade one. If it is possible, you can bring it to sports. We deal with it, me and Kinyungu. Thank you.
Honorable D, this is a matter. This is a trading matter, and it can only be referred to trade committee. So for sports, order, honorable members. For sports, you will only remain with your duties, please. Thank you, Honorable Kavio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it is becoming a norm in this house that matters are raised that needs to be addressed by the relevant department, and the response that we keep getting is that additional time or a solution has not been found. And I'll give a case in point. During the flooding, I raised a statement in this house. And now today, for a record,
Honorable Engineer, Honorable Ndi, kindly
and today in the morning,
consult quietly.
And today in the morning, for a record time, the committee sought for an extension. And it is the same song that is being sung on the same matter, because I don't know how long. Is it that we have incompetent people in those offices, or they don't just care what is happening in this assembly? Because this house is an equivalent of a high court. And in a normal circumstance, whenever an order or a directive is given by a court, anybody who acts or contravenes it is deemed to have to be in contempt of the same. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether it is helping the honorable member or helping this house by referring the same matter back to the same committee that for 6 months has not been able to find a solution. So it will just bring the same report, or it will come and ask for more time to go and work, and the forest remains the same and the manga is the same. So we don't expect to get a different report. So, Mr. Speaker, what I would recommend is that not the Committee on Sports, but as a house, I think we need to, I will advise, instead of taking it back to the Committee on Trade, let's have a substantive motion on the same matter. Then we can make a ruling as a house, because there seems to be maybe a capacity gap on the other side. So we make a ruling just for them to implement, because issues of hawkers is not affecting Machakos town alone. We have hawkers in Mavoko, Matu, Masi, Tala. I think Kalakala is also coming up. It's only that it's not rampant. So What we need as an house is to deliberate on the matter, give a ruling on the same, and these are people who can be managed. And last time we said, instead of chasing hawkers up and down, we need to have designated operation time. If we agree it's from 5:30, we can even have some roads that are not normally used. For instance, where the Absa Bank is, along, what is it called, this road? It's called what? Mackenzie Road. We can have those roads, but I'm not sure whether there is something like Mackenzie Road in Machakos.
Honorable Peter Kilonzo, do you have such road here in Machakos?
That is in Mbiuni. That could be probably, we are talking of Machakos town, not Mbiuni, but we can have those designated areas where at specific time we can have those areas blocked from motorists. Then those people can trade from there from a specific time to around 8 p.m. Then immediately they close. The place is ensured it's clean for the next business of the day. But if we keep just going to the same, and I think, Mr. Speaker, the person in charge who is supposed to implement this is a person of interest. He has interest within the same town. So if we keep expecting for them to get solution from them, we will never get. So as an house, we need to make a resolution and see how that issue can be resolved. And it's not only this, we also need to stamp to be on our feet, so that any business that is generated from this house, whenever it gets to the other side, is taken with the seriousness that it deserves. And if committees are not being able to, are not being addressed sufficiently, then we can have those people come to the committee of the General House and explain to this house where they are not able to solve issues that are touching on the people of Machakos. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kavio. Honorable Vincent.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'd like to give my comments on the subject that my neighbor, the Honorable Nicholas, raised a while ago. It actually took a lot of time to bring back that answer, which according to him is still not sufficient. The Honorable Minority Leader has claimed without evidence that the chaos that we saw was propagated by a government official who exited the service. That one we do not know. But we need to be alive to some facts. He also claimed, that is the minority leader, again without evidence, that hawking is all over in the world. I consulted my friend who visited London whether there is hawking there, but he has confirmed that there is no hawking. So the minority leader was wrong on those two.
Point of information.
Point of information.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to inform my good brother here, Honorable Vincent, that even if you are getting information from an officer or an MCA who went to London, he did not go where hawking is done. He just visited London, but did not have enough time to visit where hawking is done. They don't do in hotels like in our area. We have designated areas where hawking is done. A good example is Nairobi here. Mudhurwa Market was established to address the issue of hawking, and I'm very sure it reduced the number of those who are walking around. those who are walking around. Then the other issue, Honorable Speaker, it is in the public domain. He's saying that I not give evidence. I say it is only fair that you don't mention somebody's name, and yet he cannot be able to have an opportunity to defend himself in this house. But it's in the public domain that one day the said person went to Machakos town and he ended a meeting with the Okas. In fact, he went and incited the Okas against the area member of County Assembly. And that is where we have a lot of chaos here. Whatever I'm saying with a lot of confidence. And also remember, this is a protected area. Even if I call you names, you will go nowhere. This is a protected area. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minority Leader. Honorable Vincent, you may proceed.
Thank you.
I hope you've been informed.
Well, I did not want to expand that debate because the moment you insist that you're sure what you're saying, then you don't fear mentioning names. But that notwithstanding, I like to point out that whereas we are trying to address this issue, I would like to emphasize what the Honorable Francis from Kinani has said in regards to the turnaround time for responses of statements sought. Why do we seek statements? We seek statements as representatives of the people. They really want to know why this happened and what is the remedy thereof. So the duration, like now we are in August, and if my memory serves me right, it's like 6 months since that issue occurred. Honestly, it will bring uncertainties to the people. Therefore, that is something that need to be addressed. And if the committee is not doing its work quite well, I would prefer that we consolidate this matter and let it become an interest of the entire assembly and have a general oversight committee taking up the matter so that we can get the response that is satisfactory, not just to the member, but to the affected residents of Machakos. We have offered solutions. We have suggested solutions, including time and space. We have so many parking lots within Machakos town, which can be designated at certain areas, at certain times, including weekends, Honorable Speaker. It used to happen in Nairobi, especially when we had the same chaos. We can say the area behind the new Naivas building, that is a sufficient place. The same happens to the space in front of Safaricom shop and outside Titot Hotel. These are areas which we can tell our people that we can dedicate these spaces to you after 5 p.m. every day and during weekends, so that we can be able to solve the problem. Whenever we send these people out without solving the problem, what are we doing? We are creating a problem that we cannot solve, because crime rate will go up, despair will go up, depression will go up, and a man who is not able to fend for his family might end up committing suicide, because the only option they had has been taken away from them. So we will urge the person who is taking a brief for the trade committee to take note that that response does not meet the threshold of expectation, and we anticipate that we get a report that sorts out this mess once and for all. I am also an interested person because being a neighbor of this ward, my people come to trend in this town. I am equally interested because I minister in a church in this town. I do not know whether my members are also okas who could be affected. So we need a comprehensive response and a solution to that matter. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Vincent. No, you end your time. You cannot have. Okay, okay. Honorable members, I've heard you. And now that you've requested, all you are of the view that we change and give that duty to General Oversight Committee, then I will do so. Because as I was going through the statement, I've seen the last time the CEO was invited by the committee was on 29th April. Today is 13th August. So 4 months, we don't know what they were doing as a committee. Although that was not our expectation, we also need to be vibrant as committees, so that we may have different results. Otherwise, now you can see the kind of results we are getting from our own members. So I think the General Oversight Committee can deal with that matter and report back to the Assembly within the next 1 month. 30 days are enough for them to do that and come with a response, a proper response over that matter. So, Clerk, we can proceed.
Order number 8, motion, approval of report on the 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023.
Oh, thank you. I had not called you Honorable Benjamin, but because you knew you are the next member, then you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Chole Benjamin, MCA from Lower Kiowa County Ward, and also the Chair, Social Welfare and Sports Committee. This is the report on participation of the County Assembly of Machakos in the 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023. I now call upon Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 190, Sub-Order 5, I wish to move a motion that this Assembly adopts a report of Social Welfare and Sports Committee on 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023, tables in the Assembly on 6th August 2024. I now call upon Honorable Boniface Katiti, who is the Vice Chair to this committee, to second.
Thank you, Honorable Benjamin. Thank you, Honorable Katiti. I now propose the question that this Assembly adopts the report of Social Welfare and Sports Committee on the 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023, tabled in the Assembly on 6th August 2024. And before I invite members to for debate, let me call the mover to take those through the highlights of the report.
I'm Chule Benjamin, MCA from Lower Kaewa, Kahane Ward. This is the report on the participation of the County Assembly of Machakos in the 4th edition of CASA and Alaska Games 2023. I proceed to introduction. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly Sports Association, CASA, is an umbrella body anchored in the County Assembly's forum that is carved as a chapter that organizes sports and cultural festivals for the county assemblies in Kenya. The association provides a platform for cross-cultural and sporty exchange among honorable members and staff of all the 47 county assemblies in Kenya. CASA held its first game edition 2018 in Nairobi City County. This was followed by the second edition hosted in Washington Gishu County in 2019 in Eldoret Town. The third edition was scheduled for 2020, which did not happen owing to COVID-19 pandemic. Mombasa County hosted the third edition in 2021 after the COVID-19 lockdown. Honorable Speaker, the 4th edition of CASA Games was held from 19 to 27th August 2023 in Nakuru County. The theme of the edition was inculcating integration and social interactions through sports and diverse cultures. Honorable Speaker, the flagging of the ceremonies was done on 9th August 2023 by the Honorable Speaker within the Assembly precincts. The team joined the support of the County Assembly Service Board through the timely payment of allowances, participation fees, logistics, and moral support. There was no major injuries reported. Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, I'll skip point 1.2, that is establishment of the mandate of the committee, still the committee membership, and I proceed to the point 1.5, that is acknowledgement. Honorable Speaker, the Social Welfare and Sports Committee appreciates the offices of the Speaker and that of the clerk of the County Assembly for the continual and relentless support accorded as it discharges its mandate. I wish to express my appreciation to the honorable members of the committee for their dedication and commitment during committee sitting and compiling of this report. Performance, point 2.0, performance on the County Assembly of Sports of County Assembly of Machakos teams and that various challenges. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly of Machakos face off with the CASA affiliated teams within the already organized sports in different avenues at Kabarak University, Jacaranda Hotel, and Nakuru ASK Sports Grounds in the following disciplines: 1, football men, volleyball, netball, tug of war men, tug of war ladies, pool table, drafts, Scrabble, drafts, table tennis, badminton, ajua, casual dancers, athletics, and field events. Honorable Speaker, overall the County Assembly of Machakos recorded a remarkable position 5 out of the 36 county assemblies that participated in the 4th edition of CASA Games. Honorable Speaker, the County Assembly registers improved performance in the football and table tennis and maintained the good performance in folk song, athletics, and field events where 3 trophies were awarded as followed. 1, table tennis. We managed to be second position, and a trophy and certificate was awarded. 2, folk song. We were in second position, and a trophy and certificate was awarded. 3, borrowed focus song. We were in position 3, trophy and certificate. Honorable Speaker, the following person performs well in the athletics in the field events and were also awarded medals and certificates. 1, Miss Lillian Mutisia. She was position 1 in 200 meters and 400 meters woman. She received 2 certificates and 2 medals. 2, Miss Sarah Mania, position 2 in javelin, woman, and she received certificate and medal. If you allow me, Mr. Speaker, I'll skip 2.1 and proceed direct to 4.0, that is participation in Alaska Games. Honorable Speaker, in the East African Local Authority Sports and Cultural Association, that is Alaska Games, were held in Kisumu County from 26th January to 2nd February 2024. This followed as a successful pre-Alaska trials held in Kakamega County from 12th to 14th January 2024, where a number of our team and participants were selected to form Team Kenya. Honorable Speaker, the participants identified from the assembly bonded well with other participants and were available during all matches. General observations. Honorable Speaker, the committee made the following observation. 1, all teams conducted themselves well and demonstrated the spirit of sportsmanship during the competitions. 2, there were no major injuries reported among the participants. 3, that were later delivery. There was late delivery of sports uniforms and equipments due to timelines required for open national tender method and unavailability of budget. 4, that the ratio of MCAs to staff required by the CASA regulations, that is 1 by 1. Some of the assembly teams like netball, darts, and tug of war could not raise the 50% quorum of the assembly of the honorable members needed to participate in the games. 5, that assembly teams lack exposure to learn current rules of their games and skills. 6, that the assembly is forced to operate within the constrained budget of 4 million annually, which makes it difficult to purchase state of art equipment and uniform for the teams. For instance, 1 5-table tennis racket costs approximately 10,000, while 1 badminton racket costs 11,600. A good quality of football trainer shoe costs 6,800, while a good quality tracksuit costs between 7,000 and 9,000. Additionally, some teams, especially the indoor games, were left out in the provision of uniform. 7, it is worth noting that the county assembly of Machakos team conducted themselves well throughout the period and never reported any disciplinary issues, as was witnessed with a number of the county assemblies. Recommendations. 1, that the proper coordination of the future activities and process related to CASA games planning should be initiated immediately after the communication by the CASA to avoid cases of later delivery of uniform and sports. 2, That the honorable members should be encouraged to attend all the practice session to avoid respected teams from being disqualified for failure to attend the required ratios of honorable members to staff, which is 50 to 50. That is 1 to 1. 3, the council should consider having the budget line to fund tournaments and engagements of coaches to ensure that the teams get necessary training and exposure. 4, the CASIB should consider increasing the vote of purchase of uniform and equipment from 4 million to 7 million. This will enable the assembly to acquire quality and adequate sports items for the teams. 5, the CASIB should consider setting aside adequate budget for the county assembly teams to participate in Alaska Games. Conclusion. Honorable Speaker, I am humbled to table the report of Social and Sports Committee on participation of the county assembly of Machakos teams in 4th edition of CASA Games 2023 held in Nakuru County from 19th to 27th August 2023, and subsequently Alaska Games held in Kisumu County from 26th January to 2nd February 2024 for discussion and adoption by the Honorable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentlemen, Honorable Ndao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I will start by applaud report. Honorable Speaker, I think the chairperson has made what we call a maiden speech. He has been so quiet, but today he has confirmed. He has confirmed to this house that he is up to the task, and is capable to hold that office. So congrats, Mheshimiwa. Honorable Speaker, coming to the report, I wonder whether the relevant committee, that is the Committee on Sports, I wonder whether they took part when it came to issue of procurement of the uniforms and then other item that was required to be used during those games. Honorable Speaker, the reason I'm saying so is because we performed so poorly because of lack of what we call gears or equipment or uniform that we were supposed to use. Honorable Speaker, I was taking part in the tug of war. And yes, that is my game. And Honorable Speaker, I want to report this house that we not get what was required. One of our table clerk office, Wana Kavita, is also a member of that team. And Honorable Speaker, it is good to call a spade instead of baptizing. The team that was tasked to handle the issue of purchase of those uniforms failed the entire county assembly of Machakos. Honorable Speaker, by the time the games were when we entered the official opening of the games in Nakuru, it is only Machakos who are lacking uniform. Other counties were passing in full sports attire, but in Machakos, it was just what we call it what? When we were doing art and craft, we call it collage. Collage is any material made up of different, any item made up of different materials, different colors. That's what we call collage. But other county assembly had what we call mosaic. An item made of one material and one color. So, Honorable Speaker, it was a very bad show for us at Machakos County Assembly. Point number 2, Before we went for those games, we had a meeting here outside at the parking bay. And we were promised that the uniform will be delivered in good time. Honorable Speaker, that never happened. During the time of war, tug of war, we did not have boots that we are supposed to lock and pull the other side. We used our own what? Shoes, instead of having the boots. The uniform, that is that short. The one who was given to me was not of my size. So the moment I went to the field, I just had and almost every part of my body was out. So, Honorable Speaker, I would request the upcoming games we should not undergo what we underwent. It is very unfair. It is very unfair. It is very unfair, as Machakos County. We are usually number one. But this time around, we failed. Terribly. Honorable Speaker, we were anticipating to have the next games starting from this coming Sunday. Up to now, we have not been invited for measurements to be taken for our uniform and the other equipment. I don't know whether we are ready for that event. The size I was that time is not the same size. I might have decreased or increased. So you cannot say the size we took that time is the one we are going to use. It is only fair you take sizes during the right time. Again, Honorable Speaker, the handle committee that handles that, I don't know whether there is any, I don't know whether it is within the County Government Act, the Constitution, or the standing orders, which bars the elected members from taking part in that process of procurement. I'm very sure my chairman here was not fully involved, and no member of that sports committee was involved. Honorable Speaker, the other regime, I took part in the under committee, and I want to report to this house of what I learned. Even if we put our members there, they are just rubber stamps. You sit there, you discuss issues, but what you discuss, what you resolve, is not what is implemented. So, Honorable Speaker, we need to move from there. This is the highest decision-making organ of this county. And if we cannot make decision for ourselves as an assembly, how will we manage to make decision for the entire county? So, Honorable Speaker, dentist, like recommending either removal of a tooth or several teeth. But when it comes to their turn, they don't like it. They don't. Those who are tasked with the management of this county assembly they should now up their game and ensure that members are supplied with what they are supposed to be supplied in good time. In fact, when people are going for games, there is what we call orientation period. You go there and have time to climatize. We are only taught you travel on Monday, when the opening is on Monday. In fact, we need a week to climatize that environment. You cannot tell somebody, fly from here, go to Israel, you take part tomorrow. You need time to know the corners of where you are going to be participating. Where are the hospitals? Where are the rooms where you You can rest. Where is a police station? Because problems can come. Toilets and what have you. So this issue of dispersing members to travel, the day they are starting the event, that one should come to an end. And it is not acceptable at all, at all, at all. That is all what I want to say, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ndawa. Honorable Dominic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the report. And I rise to support the committee's recommendations that have been tabled by the chair. Honorable Speaker, going by the report and the previous results that we have received as an assembly, it is worth noting that there are some teams that have given us results that are consistent, that have been number ones or twos. Honorable Speaker, it is worth noting that today's camera lady in this assembly is the person who's been mentioned as having been number one in 100 meters and number one in 200 meters. So it is good, Honorable Speaker, to give accolades to those people or teams that perform exemplary. Moreover, Honorable Speaker, it is also good for the House and for the institution that is Machakos County Assembly to also hold a Thanksgiving function or ceremony for those teams that have participated and have given us good results. Going forward, starting with this year, I would suggest that this institution adopts that arrangement. I support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dominic. Honorable Peter Kilonzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I first of all thank the committee for giving us a good report about the CASA. It is quite recommendable. However, we have some issues that we have to elaborate. One, in the report, we were informed that some of the participants from the assembly were chosen to form Team Kenya in Alaska. Now, the process and the procedure on now those some of participants which we don't know they were chosen, I understand it's also good that the committee puts to the table who are those participants who went to Alaska and which procedure was used, or it is number one, number two, or which team went to Alaska. Another point that the committee has noted in the recommendation that teams will start practicing immediately we receive communication from CASA. Right now, we have not received communication from CASA. So are we not supposed to be practicing? Because we have not received communication from CASA. And Mr. Speaker, one thing that is that we are blessed because our chairperson of the Committee of the Sports is the vice chair to the CASA. Therefore, he sits in the decision-making body. So I want to ask whether we are practicing or we are not practicing. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, when I was in high school, I was not good in mathematics. But at one time, a mathematics teacher bought for me a book called Solving Mathematics Problem. And I practiced with that book and I performed excellently good. I want to ask, because we have teams, why can't we have a budget of CASA preparations so that now teams like football, we can have facilitation, we have tournaments, because the money which you have been buying football items like balls, cones, bips, we have even gone to ahead to buy our own uniform. We want to say that we need to include that voted that we need to have CASA preparations so that now the teams which are preparing, they can have full items. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Peter Kilonzo. Honorable Anchiro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Who spoke before me that we cannot overemphasize the embarrassment that we went through, and I have to repeat because personally I was in the group, not one time or two times, that had to go to the ground to try and help the supplier to get garments that were of good quality, because we are addressing people who have dignity. Therefore, we cannot just accept anything. I sit in the committee. One time we went with a group where Mheshimiwa Honorable Kavio was also there. The scorching sun burning us and walking in and out of shops. We got proper gear for the sports. But when we came here, the supplier would go back behind our backs and say that those uniforms are not available for everyone. So he would bring something that is of less quality, then we would go back to the drawing board. We went to Nairobi more than 3 times. So the committee is not to blame, it is the supplier. So it is a recommendation that when we get these suppliers, let us get people who understand the people they are addressing. There's no way you're going to go for such games in transparent uniforms, standing there in the opening ceremony, everybody else is having quality uniform, and then you're looking like you're from the bush. You know, Machakos County by itself, we are among the counties that are up there in every other thing. But that time we were deflated. I tell you, we didn't have even strength to talk. We looked like jokers. And it is my prayer that such will not be repeated. I have heard one of the recommendations is that the budget be adjusted. I think that has been overtaken by events for this year. But I also pray that we won't have to attend those games without uniform. Because if there is a repeat of the same, we won't have strength to talk. We won't have strength to win. We'll just be embarrassed one more time. As I finish, Honorable Speaker, I would like to plead with my fellow honorable members. It is a disservice when we attend practice or when we join teams and we don't show up, and then the team cannot play because of the rules and regulations of that game. There are teams, as it has been said, that did not get to play, like the basketball team, the netball team. I remember as we were walking up and down in the fields, the team were calling us to just come and stand in for them for a few minutes so that at least they qualify, and then we get out of the field and they play. It is a disservice and it is not right. If you join a team, attend practice and then show up and play as a team. Because these games, as much as we want to win, it is not a matter of life and death. You can show up, give your best, even if you don't win, you showed up and you participated. That's all, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My only concern, first, I support the report, but even before the committee seeks to have the budget increased, we also need a clear breakdown of how what we had allocated was used, because the quality of the uniform that was provided is wanting. Like what I received, even you cannot sleep with it. They are oversized.
Do you sleep with uniforms?
The uniform that they delivered, it's oversized, low quality, and even the shoes that were supplied is a shoe that...
Point of information.
Honorable Majority Leader wants to inform you, Honorable Kavio.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thought we were speaking of... the Honorable Speaker is consulting, so...
You may proceed, Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Unless I do not know of this game that exists, that Mheshimiwa Deputy Minority Leader may be using the uniform while asleep. So I don't think there is a game that is played in uniform at night. I thought if there is any game that is played at night, I think nobody is supposed to be wearing anything. So the uniform was not meant to be sleeping with. It's for attending games.
Thank you.
Thank
Honorable
you.
Kavi, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the majority leader needs to see Reverend Mutie for some sanitization of the mind, because when there's, you know, like the game that the minority leader normally play, the one for pulling, sometimes you are forced to sleep so that you can have a good grip. For better gripping, I do acknowledge there is a sport that normally happens at night, and that one doesn't need the uniform was delivered was of low quality, and also the ad hoc committee that has been mandated to ensure this thing is delivered, I think it's a joke, and they don't listen to what they are told, and it is normally a one-man show event. Being a member of that committee, I've observed, and on several occasions, I think we need to dismantle that ad hoc committee and have a committee, a ad hoc committee that is well balanced, because it is only here in assembly that whenever things are coming, public participation is always disregarded, and it's a requirement. Whenever you are undertaking anything that affects particular people, you need to involve them, consult them, and establish what is their desire and what they need delivered. But it's only in this assembly where things are forced down the throats of honorable members. It's like the attitude is that this is what is there, muchukue, ama or leave. That is the kind of attitude we are having in this assembly, and that needs to stop. For instance, unless things have changed, the rumor that is there is that we were supposed to have the CASA games this month, probably starting next week. But the same circle is happening. I'm sure even if it is pushed to September, we will not have uniform. We are going to go there madoado the same way, just because people don't want to do their job in a proper manner and in a timely manner. CASA is not a surprise thing that normally just happens like a rapture. From last year, we knew. And I was making a joke to the chair committee the other day and telling them, I know this low quality uniform that you have supplied, it's only that you are not telling members to use it properly. It might be the kit for this year's CASA game. I don't know whether that was intention for delaying, but if we don't have the uniform now, are we safe? Are we guaranteed that we are not going to experience the same shame, the same disgrace that we underwent in Nakuru? And also in terms of playing the practice, I'm part of where we are normally booked to go and train. It's very shameful. It doesn't meet the status, because it's like a club, a drinking den, where all sort of people come, and if you just go back more than 2 steps, unakanyanga mkojo. People just urinate all there, and that's where we are taken to go and train. So sometimes you lose the morale. So why can't we have it here in our assembly? We have enough space. Does it mean that the assembly is not capable of providing all the materials that are required for preparations? And I want to appreciate, I don't know, previously, last time when we were preparing, we used to go there, and sometimes we'll find some young, affect yourself and you don't want to engage. We just dress our clothes back, and just get back to our cars and go back and do other things, because you cannot go and fight there. So we need to uphold the dignity of the honorable members and this house. And as I conclude, I also want to support the issue that was raised by Honorable Ndawa. We need to be traveling there at least 4 days or 5 days before, so that we can familiarize. So we don't just need to be given games are starting today and the traveling day is the same day. So even by the time you get there, the opening ceremonies have been open. So we need to extend. If CASA games are happening, for instance, like next week, this week needs to be the traveling day, so that we can get there, familiarize ourselves, and also the adrenaline to go down, because sporting is a psychological event. So if you get there when you are nervous, angry, to the chair committee on sports, we need to dissolve that ad hoc committee and even get somebody. The person in charge of it should be somebody who is conversant with issues to do with sports, even if it's not the committee. Because if you go to the National Assembly, it is the Committee on Sports that is normally mandated with the responsibility of ensuring these things. And since we borrow from there, I don't know what is why our assembly should be an exception. The reason you could see members from Turkana dressed very well, and they are very far away from Nairobi, but they had very quality, nice uniform. Does it mean that we cannot achieve the same standards as Machakos? So we need to wake up and do what is right, because this attitude of take what is available or go is sickening, and that is the same reason that today we still have offices at ward that look like kitchens, that even you can't stay there for more than an hour. It's because of that attitude and lack of proper public participation and engagement of the end user. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kavio. Honorable members, I think maybe we can have a coordination of this debate. It's such a good debate, and we can halt our today's debate and continue maybe probably tomorrow, so that the chair may also go and digest what members requires. I can imagine last year's uniform. We had a black jacket, tracksuit, black and blue. So you can imagine giving Honorable Kavio such a uniform. Surely you are doing a service to us, to all of us. So something needs to be done. Let's I can imagine. So chair, I hope this time around you'll come with a good response over that same issue. And you just need to look into that matter of how members should be dressed, our assembly members, together with the staff. But I'm also told that members who have not yet maybe met with the Sanjada terms can visit the office of our clerks for sizes, because I'm told they are now taking the sizes, so that they may prepare for the next CASA games. But I hope they will put into considerations on what members are saying. Thank you, honorable members. I think we'll have a continuation of this same debate. So for those who have not yet contributed, tomorrow is that day. To Wednesday, 14th August 2024 at 10 a.m.